welcome back to the UIA Trusted Partners Podcast. On today's show, I have a returning guest for the first time on camera, though. Yeah. The 50-mile march. We have Jay Miralles, the founder, and Brianne Schuler, executive director.
And it's her birthday.
It is your birthday. I was going to tell you happy birthday on here.
Sorry.
You stole the thunder.
Sorry.
I'm just teasing, Jay.
And you're stupid, Jay.
No, I love it. I'm super happy to have you guys back in the show because, hey, we're on camera this time. Yes. People get to see the amazing people behind it.
Now you don't know we're just faces made for radio.
That's my line. I love it. So
do we need you, Dylan?
I have questions for you too.
Oh, perfect. I can't wait. I just want to start off by saying, yes, happy birthday to you, Bree. Thank you for taking time on your birthday, nonetheless, to come do a podcast. Yeah. Amazing. Shout outs to you for not taking the day off.
No, but let me tell you, I think that's part of the great thing about this organization is whether I'm working or not, these are the people I choose to spend time with. So I'll be here regardless.
I love that.
Cool. Let me write that down.
You'd make a note of that one so if she goes back. Now, of course, our viewers and listeners out there who have been growing and adding into the show as we've grown here maybe aren't familiar with the 50-mile march. So let's toss it right up here. What is the 50-mile march? When did it begin? And what does it stand for?
So I'll give you the beginning story, and Bree can give you all the intelligent things about it. So the 50-mile march was started as just a promise to myself about 25 years ago, saying, hey, when I get back on my feet, I will help others. And in COVID, we started just walking and training. And then one day I said, this is probably the time to do it. And we scheduled a walk. 20 or 30 people showed interest. 7 showed up. 1 turned back, thought we'd be home at 9 o'clock at night. I was like, no, it's going to take us a while. Anyway, 6 of us walked from Lincoln to Omaha with no plan. We wanted to raise $2,500, just give it to veteran organizations. And that was it. That was all it was going to be. So.
But
what had happened?
6 people raised $25,000 over the 24 hours it took them to walk from Lincoln to Omaha with no plan and minimal support.
And minimal supplies.
That was supposed to be the end. Yes. But I think what Jay and company did really lit a fire in the community, and folks were excited, and they're like, well, when are we doing it next year? And I think that might have been the moment when Jay said, oh shit, we have to do it again.
Man, this is a snowball effect.
So,
it was a one-time thing. And
now here we are, 6 years later, we just wrapped up our 6th mission, Operation Home Base. We had 166 people walk. We raised just shy of $800,000. Wow. And really how we've invested those funds has changed too. So I think we'll probably touch on that as we get into additional questions. But our mission at the end of the day is to empower veterans facing mental health challenges and homelessness. And we say we do that by fostering a community of hope and relentless support. And we'll talk more about community of hope, I think, later also.
Yeah, we will be.
It sounds like a song from her, doesn't it?
It kind of does.
It sounds like melodic, and I can't say it that smooth, although, there's a lot of things I can't do smooth. But when someone believes in that much, it's just like your favorite song. It
really is.
Song. You know what I mean?
It really is. And that's why I was so not only
start singing.
If you want people to tune out real quick.
Let's not.
I was like, if you want people to tune off real quick.
Wow.
I got a talking voice, not a singing voice. Yes, now you hit on it right on the head. 166 participants this last year, nearly $800,000 raised just this past August in the march. I was fortunate and honored to be a part of that, and very thankful to be a part of it, honestly. Yes, I'm looking forward to next year because me and the media guys, towards the end of it, we were chopping shop a little bit about what we can do for next year to make it pop a little more.
And I asked you last minute, too. I asked you 2 days prior.
It was okay. It was kind of one of those weird things, like my paperwork got lost in the ether somewhere, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm the guy that would happen to, so that's okay. Yes. I can roll with the punches here.
I appreciate that you still showed up.
Of course. Yes. I was still really honored to be a part of it. And I was honestly just from an outside coming in fresh to it, not really being too hands-on with much, I was blown away. Not only by the participants themselves, the marchers, what they go through, how they're operating, and how they just can mentally persevere. But the volunteers.
Yes.
Not only was it just like a sea of relief when you see them, but it was honestly, you guys were so efficient and so quick and so just meticulous with how it was run, down to the minute almost, which I thought was just phenomenal. So I couldn't give that enough praise. I just wanted to give a little special shout out before we dive too deep into this. It is so much more than just a couple people marching. it's a movement. It is a passion. It is a belief. I love it, and I can't support it enough. Community of Hope. Let's dive into it. This is kind of what the mission was about this year for the Community of Hope. Now, can you break down the vision for what this is? Because everybody's going to have this idea of like, oh, there's going to be like playgrounds, or maybe there's just some facilities there. And, so what is the vision for the Community of Hope, and how can us, the viewers, get involved to help support it more?
Jay, do you want to talk about, what your initial vision was, and then I can talk about the evolution?
Yeah, so initially I just thought, okay, well, this is growing. We just can't give away the funds. Like, we're not a pass-through organization. Either we got to get out of the way and let the organizations do what they need to do, or we need to jump in full bore and have something. And I had a friend, we had a discussion, and it was basically a vision of a tiny home community, studio homes is what we're calling it now.
Studio homes. That's a good way to describe them, though.
And a development center to get together. So to build like a home base, if you will, and that was it. And the vision is to create the four walls that house those people. Well, part of it, before I hand it over to Bree, is it's already happening.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the progress.
And we don't have the four walls technically. We're in preliminary stages, but the Community of Hope is the people. So that's what I think.
You should write
Absolutely.
that down too.
Okay. Write that down.
So when I was lucky enough to come to this organization first as a board member and now as staff, I don't come from the veteran services space, and I'm not a veteran. So a lot of what I did was going out and meeting with community members, whether that's veterans, service organizations, nonprofits, public entities, just to figure out who was doing what. Mm-hmm. And over again, I heard the same consistencies: siloed, lack of communication, lack of knowledge of what other programs exist. There was no cohesion. And so a little over a year ago, I sent out a blanket invitation to about 100 organizations that I knew were serving vets and said, hey, if anybody has any interest in getting together and talking about this, let's do that and see what happens. We had 53 people show up to that first meeting. Wow. It took us 3 hours just to do introductions.
Wow.
But the eye-opening piece about that was a lot of us didn't know each other existed. And if us as service providers don't know what resources are available, how do we expect to be able to serve our clients? And so through that, the Omaha Area Veterans Alliance was born. We just celebrated a little over a year with that group, but we now have almost 200 people from 90 different organizations connected. Yeah. And while we have all these beautiful stories of impact just from the warm referrals that were made, I think for us, the Community of Hope project has really become the physical manifestation of that group. What Jay said, it's the people that are already doing the work. Yeah. And I think we're just going to be lucky enough to be the convening entity to bring them together. So right now the plan, always subject to change, in December of 2024.
You got to be flexible, right?
We are, and that's one of the perks of being a small, scrappy grassroots organization. But we purchased 7 acres of property in Bellevue, Nebraska, right next to the Eastern Nebraska Veterans Home in December of 24. That has been an adventure. It's hard to believe it's been almost a year. But the future site and physical location for the Community of Hope. Our plan is a $20 million capital campaign to construct just shy of 30,000 square foot community center. So that community center will bring together multiple nonprofit organizations, service providers that are already doing the work. We're just going to build the space where they can do that and collaborate together. Meanwhile, they can get with the 50-mile marches, which is purpose and meaning and community, and feeling like they're not walking that journey alone. So that's our plan for phase 1. Then we will have a second phase, as Jay alluded to, studio housing. When we say tiny houses, I think people think like sheds. Yeah. These are actually slated to be shacks. Yeah, these are slated to be like 400 square foot studios.
Yes. Right, true studios. We're not throwing them into a wood chipper here, like woodshed.
Yeah. Right. It's dignity, right? Yeah. It's not luxury. It's dignity. Right. It is functional. And it's a place of pride to be able to say, you know what, I live here.
You can call it home.
Yeah. And that's me just manifesting and vision casting.
Hey, that's what we got to do, right? As you were describing all these organizations coming together, I had just a mental image in my head of all these different people pulling an individual strand. And as you were starting to bring them together, now you have this giant rope now in place to help be a part and a relief.
I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna put that as a graphic.
Please do. I don't know why.
ChatGPT.
Right? It's like I have no idea why that came into my mind as you were describing that.
I'll give you a little credit.
Yes, I'm gonna remind you.
Yes, but it was as you were describing. I literally just had that picture of just somebody has a thread. Well, now that guy has a thread. Well, that guy has a thread. all these people have threads, well, we're all doing the same thing. So we tied them all together. And we're not, and it's such a cool concept because just like how a rope's built, it's all individual threads.
Yes.
And I think that is such a cool foundation and how you guys have gone about building this even more.
There's your patch.
Hey.
There's your patch.
I love it.
Like
There's
a
so many
rope patch.
ideas.
Oh, patch. Oh my God. So good,
Rope patch.
Dylan.
Hey, you know, I'm just a wealth of knowledge some
Yes,
days.
yes.
Only some days. Now, I am a little curious here with the continued growth of the 50 Mile March. How have you guys been able to adapt the route as well as
Do you have a coin? I mean, it has meaning, right?
It really does.
But we have to be adaptive and scrappy, and I mean, we had somebody in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
Piates this year, and then we have believe a double amputee this year as well.
It's
Really?
Yes.
so I
Wow.
think it's a sense of pride to know
Yeah.
that we had to change the route this year because the state of Nebraska decided to get involved.
Hey, by the way.
That's how you know that you've arrived is when Nebraska Department of Transportation's legal department gets hold of you.
Yes.
But honestly, traditionally we've always walked from the state
Yeah.
capital to Nebraska Brewing Company. This last year we had to pivot pretty quickly, but again, you alluded to the somewhat militaristic nature of our organization and how well organized things are. So we have a huge committee called our
Yeah.
Outboard Committee that is made up of people who are much smarter than Jay or I when it comes to
10
logistics
times.
and planning. And so this year we had 3 separate routes that had courses of action that people walked and drone videoed and created videos and created minute by minute breakdowns to figure out what the safest way to move a group of that magnitude is. And so this year we did take a new route along the Mopac Trail. I think next year we're exploring a number of other routes.
I'm
and
excited.
so I think part of that, it keeps it interesting for the folks that are coming back and doing it for the 7th time.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you think, tradition, keep it the same way. We have proven, though, that this organization has been able to pivot, shift the mindset of our organization. I want to credit Bree early on. We created a strategic plan. Like, that's how deep-rooted Bree is in an operation, right? But we already completed most of it. That was a 3 to 5 year plan. We did it in about 2 years.
And that means you're good at your job.
Well, and I'll say that when you have explosive growth like this, it is also dangerous for any organization. But because of the way we are, we're not perfect. We scrap. We are passionate. We are whatever. We get heated discussions. But at the end of the day, conflict creates growth.
Yeah.
Conflict creates growth. And our strategic plan, when Bree one day said, hey, she sent a picture of the posters that we did on the wall and all that stuff.
It was an idea.
And it all came true.
I love it. because I was fortunate to be a part of one of those operation meetings towards the end of that, and it was incredibly detailed. It was not just and again, I guess coming from a civilian perspective on this, stepping into
We just out here doing our civilian
best.
We're civilian best.
You're doing your civilian best. That's what we say, right? It's a sarcastic term, but it's a term of endearment. When Bree says, you know what, I wasn't military, but I'm doing my civilian best.
Shout out to Ryan Callahan at MCL Construction. I
Yeah.
just have to give him the fine print there too.
Shout out to Ryan.
And there's a term, though, when you do your civilian best, that's all we ask for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, doing my civilian best on that meeting there was actually really just incredibly just knowledgeable to be a part of, and just kind of one of those things that I love to be a part of because I'm a big behind the scenes guy. I love to see how things work.
Yeah.
And just seeing how each captain had their own designation, how each person was the commander of their own designated whatever your goal was or whatever your objective was.
Yeah.
And nobody crossed that line. It was everybody staying in their own lane. We're only here if you ask me to step in.
And that took 5 to 6 years to get to. That took Bree saying, y'all better figure this out.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm chaos personified, and so I feel like this has taught me a lot too.
Yeah, it is because Bree is very fast thinker. She's very quick to make a decision, and she'll stand by it. Which most people that when you see in the corporate world are they make a mistake and they blame their people.
Sure.
Bree is deliberate, quick, agile, open, you know what I mean? But she hates being talked about. But I'm saying there is a reason the 50 Mile March is here. Yeah, all the founders, all the board members, and I'm not discrediting them at all. I'm saying to you, it needs a head of the snake. It needs, it does.
Not on a shirt.
Yeah, it does.
You're the head snake.
It's all right.
I love what you're saying.
There's a tip of the spear. Let's call it that, okay?
I like
There's
that.
a tip of the spear. She is a tip of the spear, and there have been many disagreements that philosophy-wise where Bree's had to tell me, you need to wait. Just wait. Nope, you need to stay in your lane.
Sure.
And it tastes like cough syrup.
Yeah.
To me, and I never sat there and go, do you know that I founded this? Like, I don't think like that. I think like a little boy, and I'm like, oh man, I just got sent home. But
I do the same.
Again, visionary.
Yes.
Right. Executioner.
Executor.
Yep.
Yes.
We wouldn't be
I'm
able
the same
to
with
do
you.
this if we weren't half a
I
brain.
can do the big.
Seriously.
Together we have a whole brain.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
for
two
sure.
halves of a whole. I love it.
And to be honest, like, I don't think she hears this enough, and I don't think people hear this enough because they highlight the people that they're just familiar with. And
Sure.
But now I'm starting to hear, and I've been hearing, like, I love when people come to, do you know Brianne Schuler? I'm like, yes, yeah. Well, she heads up the 50 Mile March. I'm
Never
like,
heard of her.
that's cool.
Awesome.
Tell me about it. You know what I mean?
that's awesome.
But you know what? Honestly, I just want to listen. Like at Best of Omaha,
Yeah.
somebody was talking about
Which
her
congratulations
behind
on
her
that,
back.
by the way.
Oh yeah, and I love watching it because, yes, while I love what I do, I love when other people get the limelight. I love when they get not the credit, but just she's living her civilian best. And I mean it. Like,
Everybody
I'm not being
deserves a
sarcastic.
spotlight.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think it's more than the spotlight. It's much deserved attention.
Yeah.
And our organization needs it. So
Yeah, and I mean, just again, how you guys have alluded from year one to now, and even just looking on your guys' website, because that is one thing I always like to credit people when I can. Their website is 100% transparent.
So Bree, okay, here's another pain moment. So I created the website along with Matt Miralles,
Sure.
and I was like so proud of it, right? And here she is. She's like, "Hey, I think we need to allocate this budget to hire this company." I was like, "But I could try a little better. You don't understand?
Please
I
don't
can
let me-
move the yellow fonts, but." There comes a point where it's not a little baby operation anymore.
Right.
And it says, Jay, you're not a webmaster. Isn't that crazy? A webmaster.
Isn't that a funny thing to say?
But it was
Yeah.
growth for me. And guess what? How much input did I really have about it? Be honest. How much input?
You
did
and I
really
had
have?
one mind mapping session. That's all we had to do.
Wow.
So
Yes.
to me, I think that, again, we're in many ways a new nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
But in many ways, we're a big nonprofit organization.
Yes.
So we have
Yeah.
had exponential growth. And
Yes.
with that, again, learning who our trusted partners are to help us
You're
do the
yeah.
work.
Yeah. You're the
And
third
so-
person this week that has made mention of our website looking professional.
Shout out to
Looking
Chip
at-
Thompson.
Yes,
Yeah.
His
yes,
team.
yes. But again, when Bree came to, as a founder, I have to, and I'm sure I'm taking you out of your questions, but I want the world to know this. As a founder, it is hard for anyone to go, I think the baby needs to wear blue jeans now. And I'm like, no, baby doesn't wear blue jeans. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think Bree is trying to wreck anything, and I know she's not. So that's how I approach things now. And how we were talking, results are everything. Bree can say she works 24 hours a day or 2 hours a day. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care how much she works. I do care that she works too much, but I never ask her, what are you doing today?
Right.
Hey, where are you? That is
Yeah.
none of my business. You know what I mean?
Not the helicopter.
Yeah.
It's
No.
just hovering around you
It's
like,
not
oh, what's going on?
Hell no.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Which I think that just speaks to the trust that's all throughout the 50 Mile
It took a
March.
while to get there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and from maturity on my point.
But I think you lead an interesting. We have people that have been with this organization since its inception, and we have had a radical change and radical growth, and that's scary. But I think it's twofold. One, the next chapter is going to set us up for a lot of success and a lot of impact. But we're still small enough and scrappy enough that we can be responsive and
Right.
agile. I've come from a lot of large nonprofit organizations where there was so much bureaucracy, and I think we're probably seeing a lot of that play out publicly right now.
Yeah.
Makes it
yeah.
a lot more difficult to be responsive to needs. So
Yeah.
one of the pieces I love is that we can do that. I think back to last year with the tornadoes in April.
Right.
We were able to, in 24 hours, pivot from being a grant-making organization to nonprofits, make a decision that we wanted to fund individuals, come up with another $6,000 and get those funds out in a day to people who needed them. So I love that being in kind of this scrappy grassroots phase still allows us to be agile.
Yeah.
Yes, and did we leave our bounds for a bit? And not really in a way, but call it $6,000. One lady and husband walked out of Texas Roadhouse and said, hey, I just want to let you guys know you were there at a difficult time. I was like, are you a veteran? So explain more. Oh, we were one of the tornado victims.
Oh,
And that
far
was
out.
6 months later, and we just
Yes.
happened to be at a table outside
Far
the
out.
Texas Roadhouse.
She cried. I cried.
Wow.
A couple other people cried. We did the right thing. We
Absolutely.
did the right thing. We thought a little different, but we have resources, you know what I mean? And it's better in their hands than it is sitting.
Well, yeah, I think that's just, it also kind of speaks back to the core of how this all began in the first place. It was, hey, we just wanted to give money to something that's going to happen and matter.
Correct.
In that same breath and same spirit almost, that happens for the tornado relief. So,
Yeah.
I mean, a huge tip of the cap to you guys to have the, not only wherewithal to make that call,
Yeah.
but to have the, I guess I'll call it business smarts to have that funds able to be presented. So shout outs to 50 Mile March all across the board on that.
Thank you.
Of course. Now, we had kind of alluded to this earlier with this last year's March here. The volunteers, I'm calling the lifeblood of the organization because they are what keeps the March flowing for sure. And I
Vested Angels.
I saw it
You were
firsthand.
Neon T-shirt at Angels.
Yes, neon t-shirts. That's true.
neon t-shirts, and I loved it here. And I thought that almost literally every and all facets of the volunteer works were just incredible. You had people that, they've got to putt, 2 or 3 miles an hour in a little gator, and that can
my
just
gosh.
drive somebody crazy.
Yes, I will never.
And I totally get that too, because I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. But shout outs to the people that have to do these certain jobs. And then after that's done, hey, we're going to break off and we're going to go be part of the volunteers that are setting up everything. It's just that fluidity that helps make it just all possible and come together. Now, my big question for you, is there a need right now coming up for next year's March here in the terms of volunteers, since we've kind of alluded that it is growing, it's booming, it's coming up even stronger this year, I have a feeling.
It is. So our 2026 campaign is named Operation Freedom Path, and applications are already open if people want to march or volunteer.
Link will be down in the description.
FitchMileMarch.org.
Yes, awesome.
If you click volunteer, you can already get signed up, express your interest, share what you're passionate about. That could be marketing and media. That could be touching people's feet. It's not for me, but somebody has to do that.
I won't ever.
Hospitality, it truly takes a village. So we have about 1 volunteer for every 2 marchers that go out on the full march. And then we have about another 100 that help us at the finish line. So there is a space for everyone.
Literally, anybody and everybody who wants to be a part of this, fill out that volunteer form. There is a little bit of a process that goes through this, especially if you're wanting to be a marcher.
Yes.
Now, I'll kind of let you guys allude to that a little bit so I don't misrepresent anything. Once I'm signed up and I want to be a marcher, what do I have to do?
Before Bree says that, there's an alignment or an symbolism with the volunteers. Everyone you see in media, there's combat people and frontline and special operations, special forces jumping from the helicopters. Listen, there's a place for that. But do you know who brings the bullets to the front line? Do you know who brings the gas? Do you know who makes sure the jets are working, make sure that supplies get there? It's support staff. It's the volunteers. It's the crew.
Yeah.
So, with 6 people, we still had 2 or 3 volunteers to get us to the finish line.
Yeah.
And so not only is it needed, it's mission critical. So that's symbolism.
I'm going to put my radio voice on and say, Dylan, tell me more about your 50 Mile March volunteer experience.
Yes.
That was honestly the question I had for you.
Oh.
You got to see it. You lived it for 30 hours straight.
Great question.
That is a great question. And I felt bad because I didn't fill out the thing afterward. I got really busy.
Oh, the after action.
You
Yeah,
can
the
tell me
after
about
action.
it right now.
Yeah.
So my
The
after
real.
action,
The real.
So first and foremost, I was ill prepared.
Okay.
I had bad shoes.
Ooh, rookie mistake.
Yep.
That's all right. You will do better.
And so that's where I'm like, next year, I already know what I did wrong. So next year, I'm already going to be good.
Yes.
But I did think that it was electrifying, in a way that I can only describe it as that, because I'm a big energy person. If a room is happening and it's hopping and people are having a good time, I'm having a good time. I'm not the one that's sitting there going oh no, there's people. I'm going to be feeding off of how the energy is around me. From that initial, hey, we're going to sit here for our moment of silence. We're going to sit here. It was almost like, and this is the best way I think I have an analogy for it. It's like right before you run out of the tunnel going onto the football field. Ooh. It's those moments. You're just sitting there going, all right, what's coming up? What are we about to do? Why are we doing this? Boom. And then we start the march. Honestly, that was just a buzz of energy. I don't think anybody could even hold still. People were like jumping around and people were bouncing around.
We talk about the finish line so much.
Yeah.
And that experience, I've never heard somebody describe the start like that.
It really was such a bubbly experience. You know, you had some really fun characters in there. Shout outs to some of the platoon in white. Shout outs to some of you guys. Yeah,
they're crazy.
They were having such a blast. And then, you know, falling in and getting just to kind of know each platoon. From my side of things, being on the media side, I had a chance to kind of connect with a few of them periodically. It was so fascinating to just learn different avenues of life. Just, hey, this guy, after retirement here, he went off to go do X, Y, Z. And now he does this because my buddies are doing it. I'm just here to have some fun. You know, it's just such a fun trip. And then you talk about where you hit that real rough patch where I'm thinking the road portion where the road was very rough.
The gravel?
Oh, yeah. And then we hit that one that was all broken terrain too. Yes. And I was like, this is the point where I was expecting people to start dropping. Like, no, and that's just me, civilian best, giving it a best guess here. And I'm sitting there going, man, people are going to have a hard time with it. Like, this is killing me. No, everybody's powering through. You know, I caught up with Blake Martin after that stint, and I was like, Blake, how you holding up, man? Because you were, you know, a couple stops ago, you were already saying you had some tear on your feet. And he's like, you know, we're a little rough, but I think we're going to make it. And just everybody was kind of at that almost like TV static is how I could describe it.
TV static.
Because nobody wanted to show how much of pain that they were in. Because everybody had that goal that we're almost there. We're over halfway.
Well, you talk about the group think, because I think back to 2024's March, which 103 degree heat, we never got a reprieve. And we had one stop at 3 o'clock in the morning where one person fell out, and then another person fell out, and then another person fell out. And I will still stand behind the fact that some of those people exited just because they saw other people doing it and it made it easier for them to make that decision.
100%.
Yes, and it's true. And I will tell you that when someone starts talking, especially new people, like, I think it's my back, I think this hurts. Like, hey, control what you think. It's gonna hurt. Just if you start saying it, the person next to you is going to feel it. So we made alternative words instead of saying it hurts, we use different words. So we won't say that on the broadcast here, but we use different words to describe the pain, but it made you laugh. Heck, I'll tell you one.
I don't even know what those are. They're like screaming purple banana or something.
I'll tell you what it is. Okay, I'll tell you what it is. And this will take you completely out of pain. And we did it for, imagine, the last 20 miles. Oh my gosh, are you in pain? No, I'm horny. That's what we said. That's what we would say. Like when your ankle was hurting. When someone go, I'm hurt. No. You're horny. It's the stupidest thing in the world. And we all kept saying it. And guess what? People adopted that. And we laughed together. And people made it because of that stupid phrase.
When we edit this, can we please go beep?
And just make everybody guess.
It's me that we have to believe. Yes, I think we need to believe that.
Honestly, that's so funny though, because I just think back to, it's like one of the very last stops here, Sarpy County Fairgrounds. I'm ahead with the media team. We're watching for you guys to come in. And it was almost surreal because I watched all of you be TV static the stop before. Here we are, sunset's just coming up.
Ooh, that's a good time.
Hot air balloons.
Hot air balloons start to sprawl in the sky. Everyone's just like, what?
Yes.
And then immediate questions like, hey, did you guys plan that? And I'm like, I don't know. Of course, sure.
That's part of it.
That's part of it. Roll with it. But no, it was like everybody went from TV static to like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood again.
Because we were happy because we knew we were going to have hot dogs.
There's breakfast burritos.
Breakfast burritos.
I remember what he ate. He's like,
everyone's like, breakfast burritos. Yes. Oh my God. And I remember catching up with you at that point. And it was wearing you. Like you had some real wear on you. And it was one of those things. Like we got some real, just honestly, that's the best way I can, real raw of just what people are going through from your perspective, from different marchers' perspectives, which I was so happy to be able to talk to some of those just unique characters like Nate you had mentioned at the beginning of the show.
Incredible.
Unbelievable how he pulled that off, by the way, because, you know, I'm thinking there, I'm like, man, I'm in bad shoes and I'm complaining about my feet hurting. This guy's got to be burning alive pushing his wheelchair because there was some real just terrain to navigate there.
So, he was worried more about other people than he was worried about himself.
Really?
The whole time.
Unbelievable.
But he didn't want to be touched either. He's like, don't touch me. don't push my chair.
Yeah.
Move out of my way. Did you know people were clearing rocks out of the way while we were on gravel?
I did.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I kept kind of hearing chats of different guys like kicking different rocks and stuff out of the way for them.
Oh yeah.
Goosebump moments.
Yeah, it really was. And then I think literally the last stop walking into Nebraska Brewing.
Yes, man.
And being able to not only feel that relief myself after the 30 hours. Yeah, I'm sitting there.
Beer 30.
It was so crazy because like it all caught up to me literally when we were done. We stopped and everybody and you guys were doing the announcements and stuff, and then it just hit. I was like,
adrenaline bumps.
Yeah, everything just kind of wiped. I'm like, I think I've just got to go home and go pass out now. Like, I don't think I'm even here for a beer. And literally just went home and saw my cats and went, hey guys, here's food.
Slept until the next day.
Yeah.
So think of that feeling right there, Dylan, what you just said. This is
Going home.
symbolic. So the hype of the mission, the hype of the uniform, the military order, someone's telling you what to do, they're thinking for you, you don't have to think anything. Imagine the next day taking the uniform off and going to civilian life.
Go figure it out, right?
Yeah, that's where you crash. That's where the dip goes. Your identity's gone. Oh, I used to do that. Oh, see that jet up in the air? I used to fix those. See those guys? I used to shoot guns like that. Hey, I used to cook. Whatever it is.
Right.
You lose your entire identity. And just like you said, you crash, that's for one day. Some of these guys are crashing every day and there's nobody to pick them up.
Right.
Nobody.
That's why literally with 2 days or 2 weeks notice, I was like, yes, I'm still being a part of this because veterans have been a part of my family throughout life.
Awesome,
and it's one of those that I don't know if I'm more passionate about another sort of nonprofit, maybe animals, but animals are innocent, you know?
Yes.
They don't choose to do a lot of things, but we as people can help other people very easily.
Wow. You allude to something I talked about a lot. I've been around fundraising a long time. The things that people like to give money to, puppies and kitties, kids with cancer, pickleball, that's real trendy right now, right? And so because those things are cute and they make you feel good, when we talk about homelessness and mental health and veterans, then we have to admit that like we've really screwed up because we have not taken care of people who have taken care of us. And we're not doing a good job. And I think it's a lot harder to fundraise or to feel good about that because you have to admit that we screwed up.
Yeah, I think there's like a level of shame on the civilian side of things, as maybe there should be to a degree. To a degree, not overwhelmingly so, but just, you know, I think back to literally how the Vietnam veterans were treated. The minute they got back from shore, take your uniforms off, do not go out in public, do not instigate the rioters, do not do anything. And here they come back hoping to just see a hug or maybe just say, hey, thanks for doing everything. And it was met with anger and violence and in certain cases, death. So I just think back to those moments and it's like, you know, we as civilians failed at that point in time. And I think we never quite got the grasp back to just be better and be better supportive.
I'll say this. So I hear this a lot where people say, thank you for your service. I appreciate it. Believe it makes me feel good. But you know what I appreciate even more? A girl named Holly Hindmarsh today was walking with us this morning for the first time. It was her birthday. 2 years ago, she watched us 197 pounds heavier than she is right now. Okay? She told her husband, like, this is probably gonna make me cry. She told her husband, I'm going to walk the 50-mile march at damn near 300-something pounds. And he said, okay, you will. That, to me, doing her civilian best, that's why I fought for this country. Not for the politics. For people to see something, be wanting part of something. So, Dylan, don't be ashamed. Be proud of people like that. You didn't shame the Vietnam veterans. Other people did, right? Those are the people who should be ashamed. The people who want to make it right, this is our chance. This is my chance to make it right for them.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? So
100%.
I just want you to know, like, don't feel like that.
Well, I appreciate that because I mean I'm also a little bit of a bleeding heart at times too. It's like, you know, like I got a lot of love for people who put everything on the line for us. And then to see it misused and mistreated sometimes, I get a little upset for. But to your point, you know, I wasn't directly throwing things at the Vietnam veterans, so I can't really bleed there. But I can help you guys promote some awesome things coming up to get more information out to people so they can come learn more about the 50-mile march. They can come see what's a Community of Hope, So, event-wise, we're coming up to the end of the year here.
Yeah, but it's Veterans Day.
I know.
So
It's like Christmas
It
for
is.
veterans.
I
Right?
know.
It's Christmas for our
Okay, so
organization.
one, if you're a veteran, and if you're not getting out on the 11th to get all your free goodies, you best get out to get your free
Yes.
goodies.
Yes.
I'll make sure we push that out on our socials. You can get free pillows and food, and who
That's
all knows
fantastic.
what else.
Yes.
So get out and let the community love on you. So
Where do we need to
sure
go
do
for
that.
is that at a certain place?
I'll go. Oh, there's so many. I mean, I have like a 2-page list of places that do free meals, and I'm going to shout out a couple that are
Please,
our,
yeah.
our partners. So Hy-Vee for one,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
can get
yes.
free breakfast
Yes.
at Hy-Vee, and it's always so good. Breakfast buffet. Also, our friends at Comfort Made Mattress are giving out free
Oh, yeah.
pillows to veterans, and they're
Yes.
like a nice memory foam
Wow.
good pillows. So please go get one.
Yeah,
of
you know,
those.
like the ones that are $90 in the store there.
Exactly.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
That's
the list is
awesome.
endless. We will make sure we get it published on our socials. So get on out and
love that.
Plus, like, get to see other veterans and make connections. So get out on Veterans Day. But beyond that, we have got 2 opportunities that Jay and I are both speaking at November 18th and November 20th. So if you are in Omaha, Jay is speaking at the SARP Empower Breakfast, and on the 20th, I'm speaking in Lincoln at the Lincoln Empower Breakfast.
Okay.
So 2 opportunities to catch a little bit more about our
Yeah,
mission and hear the
for sure.
different spin and flavor that we both put on that.
Absolutely.
And then on November 27th, which is Thanksgiving, we are teaming
yes.
up with a couple other nonprofit and community groups. We realize that Thanksgiving is going to be tough for some people this year,
Sure.
both with the SNAP pause and just difficult economic times. And so for those of us who didn't have any Thanksgiving plans with family or who wanted to do something to give back, we're going to take over and do what we're calling the Love Can Thanksgiving pop-up. We're just going to have a big old hot
That's
meal,
awesome.
camaraderie, and a chance for people to build community. So if you want a free meal, come on out. If you don't have family to celebrate with, come be our family.
Where's that at?
We're going to be at Matoyer's Event Center in North Omaha.
Oh, that's cool.
I love
So
that.
again,
great.
chance for a community to come together. If you own a restaurant or catering
Yes.
company, we need food. If
Yes.
you want to volunteer, we need you too. If you just want to come out and have a meal and hang out, do that too.
Yeah.
Of course, websites in the description below as we're talking. I'll tag your guys' social media down here below. So as we're talking, you can click right there. You can volunteer. You can get signed up. You can reach out and just get some more info if that's what you're needing.
Come hang out.
Can you talk about the Walker's application too? Because that's
I
kind of our
will. So
event,
yes, we got on this
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah, we
My-
kinda
I
sidelined
got on the
there.
soapbox.
So if you
that's
want to get
okay.
involved in 2026's campaign,
Yes.
application both to March and to volunteer is live on our website. It will remain open through the end of the year, but you need to get your applications in. We have people come to us in June and they're like, I want to do the 50-mile march this year. And unfortunately, that's not how it works.
Too late.
So get your applications in
Yes.
before the end of the year. We will have an initial mission briefing January 10th. That kind of kicks off our March season, and then we will have a qualifier event in April to get a chance to test out those feet and those shoes do better.
Yes.
100% on
You
that.
gotta practice in them. You gotta walk in them.
So that was the thing. I could just grab 2 of my pairs of shoes. You know, I'm like, this is the one I use like to mow the lawn, and this is the one I use to like
They were
actually
dudes.
walking around.
He was wearing dudes. Nah, they weren't dudes. What were they?
They were Under Armours actually.
Oh my gosh,
So they were
yeah.
actual Under Armour, but I've had these shoes probably for 5 years.
So, but as a volunteer, I think you point out, I walked 30 miles my first year as a volunteer. I think this year I was only at about 20, which leads me to believe I was slightly less neurotic and we were better organized.
I mean,
I think realistically I
These
hit
were
like
brand new.
24.
Jay's taking his shoes off.
these were brand new.
And look
Okay.
at the wear.
And look at the wear.
Yeah.
These were brand new this year, and I shouldn't be wearing these anymore, but they're they mean something to me now, right? Like,
Yeah.
You got to get the
it's-
smell in here too.
That's okay. I've got a meeting after this, so I'm not even going to be here.
God, I showered before I got here. What is today? Friday? Yeah, I showered.
Yeah, there was a
Friday,
shower in
yeah,
there.
Yeah, Friday I showered.
Jay showers on Friday, just in case you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best day to give him a hug.
Friday morning at 7.
I love it. No, I love it. So get out there, volunteer with you guys here coming up for Thanksgiving. I know I will probably reach out to you and try to coordinate some of that as well. I'm moving this month.
Okay.
So I'm
Adventure.
moving across town here. So yeah, a little bit to try to deal with before the holiday
Sure.
season. So
You don't
I'm
wanna
not
cook?
gonna.
Come
If
on
you
down
need a
and eat
moving
with
truck,
me.
let me know. If you need a moving
I will.
truck, let
Thank
me
you.
know. Seriously.
But I don't plan to get back home for family this year. So I'm.
Come
I think
hang out.
Kimberly and I might just be
Go.
up for something like
There
this.
it
So
is.
yeah,
I just don't
We'd
want to
love be
clean my
there.
house, and
That's also fair. That's also
this way
really
you don't
fair.
have to host Thanksgiving, friends. Come eat with us.
Yes.
And come give back. You
Yeah,
know, it
for
makes
sure.
it feel good.